Hello everybody, welcome back to another edition of the EcoStruxure Machine Expert HVAC. I'm your host, Leandro Romana, and in this video what we're gonna see is how we can downgrade or upgrade the firmware of the Modicon M172 performance. So let's go to the presentation. So the idea now is to change the firmware of the performance and controller, because the Optimize doesn't have Ethernet, so we cannot use Ethernet. The M172 performance has the embedded Ethernet port, so we can access using via Ethernet cable to the controller to change the firmware. So let's put this over here. So by default, this controller doesn't, it has a specific ID, okay, which is this one. This is the one that comes by default. This is the IP settings, 10.0.0.100. If you take a look in the project, when you open a new one, you should be able to see this configuration already in there as a default, and we can change that. Something important is that the FTP, the TCP, and the HTTP are disabled by default in the newer version. I believe for the version 10.11 of the firmware, it changed that due to cybersecurity reasons. So when we first we need to define our computer to be in the same network as the controller. So for that, what we need to do is to open the control panel, or go to the control panel. Just open the control panel just for you to see it. So we can go to the control panel, and here we need to go to, I always forget, network sharing center. And here, in my case, I have this one is the one. So just click over there, properties, go to TCP/4 properties again, and here you need to put an IP address in the same range as the one that you have, okay? And if you go to advanced, you can add different ones, okay? In this particular case, I already changed the IP address of the controller, so it will not be the same as you have over here, but just follow the idea of changing the IP address to be in the same range, okay? And make sure that here you don't assign the 100, otherwise you're gonna have the same IP address as the controller, and it's no idea. You need to have a different one. So the first thing that we need to do is to change the IP address of the controller, as I showed you just a few seconds ago, and then try to ping the device and see if you have the connection. In my case, I already changed the IP address, okay, of the controller. So ping, it's gonna be this one, 172. So you can see I can ping the device, okay. So let's see how we can test it, and I show you that I'm connected to this one. Just 1 minute. So let's put it like this. Now what I'm going to do is to try to show you that I'm connected to that. So this is the cable. So I'm going to remove it. You can see it's thinking. Timeout. And put it back again. And it's back again. Okay. So let me just go back again. And adjust the camera. Okay, and the camera is back again after a few works. So here you can see that I'm able to pick the device and it's working fine. So this physical part, we have already defined it, and we should be able to connect from the software. But there are a few things that we need to check, because by cybersecurity we have one thing that is disabled by default that doesn't allow us to probably change or connect to the controller. So let's go to the software and verify and define that what we need to do. So In the commissioning area, the first thing is to define, okay, the software is going to communicate to the PLC via Ethernet, so we need to configure that first. So settings, model TCP, activate properties. Here we just need to put the IP address of the controller. If you are setting with the controller, you just need to use the default 10.0.0.100. Okay, and okay. So this is going to be the communication that I have with the controller. Now, if I press this one, and here you can see that it's the same PLC, it's fine, but the firmware is different. It's the version 12, it's not the 13. So we have this message. Okay, yes, I'm connected with the controller. Okay, which is good. Okay, we have connection with the controller. So let's go back to the presentation. So we have already configured this part, fine. Then we may probably have this message. So full screen. So when you're trying to connect, you can probably see this. You don't have the possibility to connect. And then this message will show up. So basically says that the Modbus TCP is disabled for this IP address, and it could be for cybersecurity reasons. So what we is trying to do is to open the web page of the controller so you can change these settings. Okay, you can see here to enable the Modbus TCP through perimeter port ETH PI. Okay, so the next page you can see that we can port ETH PI, which is the one that we need to configure in order to be able to connect to the controller, okay, to enable the communication. If you want, you can also change the IP address to the one that you want. And remember, if you change the IP address, you will need to change the configuration that you have in your laptop to connect again to the controller. Okay. Additionally, you can change all these parameters, okay, in order to connect. And by default, the credentials should be administrator and password, everything in lowercase. Okay, you can access to this using the IP address /evo pet.htm or evo index htm. So if we open Firefox, for example, once it's finished, for example, 172.168.1.72/evo pet.htm administrator password, and I believe I changed that, so I cannot access administrator. Yeah, I changed that, so I'm showing in the other screen. Good. So I access to the address, okay, evo pet.htm, and you can see here all the parameters. In my case, this one, this is the address, and this is the port ETH PI that we need to enable. Otherwise, even if you can ping it, you cannot connect to the controller. Okay, so this is how you can go. And you have also the index, which is this one, and then you can go to Ethernet in order to change this. Okay, so this is how it works. Okay, so let's go here. This is the behavior that you saw that I have, because the controller has a lower firmware than the firmware I have already defined in the project. Okay, so what we can do is to open it, the software, and select a newer firmware and then download it. Now, if you have these messages that I showed you before, we just need to connect to the controller, go to the website, put the credentials, and change the port ETH PI here. Okay, and then you just carry on. If you want, you can change the IP address. Then what we need to do, as I showed you before in the previous video, what we need to do is to select the firmware that we want. So select here the controller, scroll down, BIOS download, select browse, and here we shall select the latest firmware available. In my case, in this one, at the moment, for the moment, in this version, the version EcoStruxure Machine Expert HVAC version 1.5, that is the latest one. So if we have the connection, just download. Okay. Remember what you are seeing on the screen, because it's the application that is already in there, just to see what's happening. Okay. Just wait for it to finish. It's almost there. Just wait for it. So if you pay attention, probably the image isn't clear enough, but you should be able to see the firmware version, I believe 6.6.8, and then you should be able to see .13 on the screen, on the embedded display. So firmware download successfully, and I believe that the camera has frozen. Yeah. Okay, so technical problems. Okay, after some technical difficulties, I already managed to make the camera working again. So that's the camera, and you can see here, just in the right moment, it just load the program. Okay, the same program that we had before. Okay, so this means that the program is not lost when you upgrade the firmware, which is good. Okay, but I always recommend to make the process up when you do this, right? Downgrade, just in case there are some libraries that change and everything. Just go always upgrade, no downgrade in this case. And it's important that the program doesn't lose. So you can see that in the screen is the same thing that I had before. Okay, which is good. And that is something that I really wanted to show you on the presentation. I believe at the end I put it. So the download, just select the file that you want. Okay, the software will go directly to the path where the different firmware are installed in your machine, so there is nothing to worry. Just select the latest version. Once that is done, just download, just wait for it to finish, and then download. You should be able to receive this one. Okay, and this part isn't right because I copied from the USB, so you need a power supply for the M172 performance in order to download the firmware. So as I showed you before, if you don't select nothing in the file from the BIOS to download, you should be able to see this message: file must not be empty. It makes sense. And then if you are not connected, even if you have already selected the file, okay, you will receive this message because you are not connected with the device yet. So we have already performed the upgrade in this case. Okay, we check the behavior of the code. The code is still in there. Okay, because you can see there's the screen, so the code isn't lost. Okay, which is good. So this is what I wanted to show you, how you can make the upgrade or downgrade of the application of the firmware of the M172 performance only. Okay, because the Optimize doesn't have, and the M171 Optimize doesn't have Ethernet. So this is how you can perform the change of the firmware. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I see you on the next one.